summit meeting. It's Bill Walton who led the Portland Trail Blazers to a surprise world championship, squaring off against the man he looks up to, 7 foot 2 inch Artis Gilmore. It's the NBA on CBS. The Portland Trail Blazers against the Chicago Bulls.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. All the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. And by the General Motors Parts Division.
Sellout crowd in the Chicago Stadium. They are attracted here to see the world champion Portland Trail Blazers and to see what their Chicago Bulls can do against them. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brent Musburger, and thank you so much for inviting us in this afternoon. And Keith Erickson, a pleasure to be back with you again. But listen, we haven't got Portland at full strength this afternoon.
They've got the bare minimum 8 players suited up today. Maurice Lucas is back in Portland, along with Larry Steele. Dave Twardzik is on the bench, not dressed tonight. They've just got the 8.
Now, Lloyd Neal has started 10 games this year, and the Trailblazers have won all 10. So don't be feeling sorry for Jack Ramsey just yet, Keith.
Absolutely. They're ready to go, and Lloyd Neal is ready to play.
Here are the starting lineups as you take a look at the Chicago bench. And Norm Van Leer will not be out there. It'll be John Mengelt instead. Earl Strom and Paul Mahalik will be the officials working the game. Now, Chicago is also without starting forward Scott May. He's sidelined because of an knee injury. And here it is, the confrontation, Walton and Gilmore. Gilmore, Keith Erickson, placing as tough as anybody this side of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The problem with the Chicago Bulls has been the supporting cast, not Artis Gilmore. Strom brings it to midcourt. Portland in their traveling dark uniforms. What a crowd we've got on hand in Chicago as the Bulls control. Here's Wilbur Holland. He's 12. Working with John Mengelt in the backcourt. Norm Van Leer not starting because of the flu. Gross on a steal. Here comes Bobby Gross to the Trailblazers. And there is Johnny Davis with an offensive. Gilmore with the ball. Listen to the noise level, and we have just gotten underway. Mickey Johnson tried to come out of a horrendous slump the last 2 weeks. Working against Neal. Inside, Walton with a hand on it, forced the turnover, and here's Holland. Off to Lloyd Neal. Crashed in, the foul was called. He was blocked as he came to the hoop.
That's a good call, I feel, by Earl Strom, the official there. I don't think that Mickey Johnson had position on that play. This game is starting off really exciting out here, Brent. I expect to see it the whole day. A very important game for these Chicago Bulls. They've got to win this game.
We have made a great deal out of those tremendous crowds in Portland the last couple of years. If there is any crowd in basketball that can rise to a similar occasion, it is the one here in the Chicago Stadium. It will become deafening in here if the Bulls do anything at all this afternoon against the world champions. All kinds of NBA celebrities on hand. Harry Glickman, the general manager of the Trailblazers, is here. John McLeod, the Phoenix coach. Chicago in danger of not making the playoffs. Tremendously important game. Holland off. And Walton with control, and here's Hollins in the middle. Gross waits now. It's 5-on-5. Gross outside. Taken down by Steve Shepard, the hustling rookie from Maryland. He's filling in for the injured Scott May, who's in civilian clothes on Ed Badger's bench. Walton fronting Gilmore, not letting him have it down low where he's deadly. Here he is, coming up on Walton. He's got it, he was fouled.
That was really some play. Bill Walton is playing against a very physical Artis Gilmore here. Got completely turned around in there when he was trying to front Gilmore. He had to turn his back on the ball and get behind Gilmore. He had the ball down low and just turned around and put it in right over Walton. He cannot let him get the ball down in that position.
Left-handed shooter. 3-1. Chicago leads Portland. Just underway. Trailblazers with the best record in the NBA. Chicago with the 7th best record in the West, so they would not make the playoffs if they started today. Knocked away, and here comes Holland on the steal. Davis with that speed back on him, and Holland got the field goal. 5-1. Rookie T.R. Dunn will be the 3rd guard for Ramsey today because of Twardzik's injury. pick by Neal. Davis out, control by Neal. What a great six-man he is, Keith.
Here comes Bill Walton across the middle. And Wilbur Holland make a beautiful steal off the goal line. Look at the speed of Johnny Davis catching up with a really quick Wilbur Holland.
Davis now, Keith, is matched against John Mingel. Chicago up 5-3, just underway in the first quarter. Right baseline crash. Taken down by Steve Shepard, and Walton came up over the top. And the foul of Gross raising his hand on the other side.
I was very surprised on that play to see Bill Walton let the man come inside. Look at Wilbur Holland right inside of Bill Walton there. We couldn't see it back a little bit, but I'm surprised Walton didn't take that ball over the top of him.
So one foul on Gross and one on Walton.
I said Holland, it was Steve Shepard.
He's small for a forward, Keith, but I'll tell you, the Maryland basketball team has not been quite the same since he left. He'll go to the floor after the loose balls. He's a scrambler. 7-3. Bulls lead the Trailblazers. Walton out to pick Mingel, who goes now with Hollins. Hollins lights up every time he sees Chicago. He was great in the playoffs last year against him. Neal outside.
Lloyd Neal lights up every time Maurice Lucas is out of the game.
Hollins, all for blocking against Mingel in the backcourt. And right now, let us thank the Chicago Bull management for lifting the blackout yesterday. This game being seen in the Chicago area. Under the regulations, they didn't have to, but they felt this was so important to the team and the fans that they wanted to show it here in Chicago. So welcome aboard this afternoon. Walton off. It is 8-5, Chicago leading Portland. Mickey Johnson on Neal. Here's Walton. Turnaround with Gilmore with a hand right there. Johnson controls the rebound.
That's going to be a big factor in this game, Brent, is how well Mickey Johnson goes to the boards today.
Gilmore will take it himself, and Walton is right there with him. Throws off quickly to Davis, and it's Hollins. The Bulls are back. They seal off any break. Neal trying to cut inside. Mingel was there on the pass, and Mingel fouled him.
Foul on John Mingel. His first, second team foul.
So 2 team fouls against Chicago, and for Jack Ramsey's Trailblazers, 3 team fouls. I don't see Jack McKinney over there, Keith Erickson. He must be out scouting for them today.
He must be on a scouting trip.
Inside to Walton. Coming up over the top of Gilmore. And there's Ed Badger, the Chicago coach. He is under pressure because this team has started to lose at home. And that's something you can't afford in the NBA. It's tough enough to win anytime on the road. Here's Shepard, and Gross was right there, taken down by Bill. Off now to Hollins in the middle. Here's Davis. Tell you, Keith, Chicago is getting back on defense. They're not giving him the easy transition baskets, so they go to the perimeter, and Neal hits again.
Well, that's exactly what Chicago's going to want to do. They've got to stop Portland's fast break. Bill Walton's outlet passes are the best in basketball. And they must make Portland take that perimeter jump shot.
Mingel bleeding already from the left elbow. Crash. First player out of Auburn to make the NBA. Johnson muscling inside. It'll come the other way. Offense is the call by Earl Strom underneath. Now Portland can go ahead for the first time. There he is, John Mingel, formerly of the Detroit Pistons. Here's Gross, moved left side, Davis all alone. Hollins cuts in. Off the switch, they find the open man, who's Neal, and it's Gross trying to tap it back in. Off comes Chicago on the move. Chicago running more than they did in the days of Dick Motta. You see Neal's muscle as he hit the glass. Off to Davis. Now they've got an opportunity. 3-on-1, only Gilmore. Here's Gross inside. Artis came over to foul call.
Foul on Artis Gilmore. His first, third team foul. Checking in for Chicago, number 40.
Let's keep an eye on Mengel here. Look at Mengel getting hit by Artis Gilmore, his teammate. Gilmore's always got his hands and elbows out, hitting his own teammate as he ran by. That was a good play by Portland, by the way. Bob Gross taking that ball to the basket. They had a 4-on-1 fast break with only Artis Gilmore under the hoop to protect it. Of course, he's He's pretty tough.
Portland ahead. 7:16 to go in the first quarter. 9-8. The world champions lead by a point. Holland trying to come down the middle. Sealed up. They'll turn it over now to Portland. So he came down looking for the man. Derek Dickey has checked in for Chicago. He's number 40. He'll be working alongside the big man, Artis Gilmore.
Walton's calling for the ball inside. He told him to swing it around to this side.
Flashes it back to Neal. There's that patience with the big man, Keith. Timeout has been called by Chicago. We can watch it in isolation here, just what Keith Erickson told you. Let me have the ball. Now wait for the cutter. Wait for the open man. He'll come the other way. It's Neal.
Outward bound, Rota, Spain. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
I'm Tom T. Hall, here to tell you about Bonanza specials available on 1978 Chevy fleet-side pickups. With this option package, Bonanza pickups are priced $350 less than if you ordered everything separately. It includes air conditioning, gauges, automatic transmission, power steering, comfort tilt wheels, special trim, and more. So get all the Bonanza facts now at participating Chevy dealers. And bring your friends.
Ribbit, ribbit.
You know, I think I liked you better as a frog. As a frog, you had a much smoother face. Prince, didn't you ever hear Palm Olive Rapid Shave? While you were away, they improved it. Palm Olive Rapid Shave is thicker and lusher than ever. Feels good while you shave. Feels good after.
Improved Palm Olive Rapid Shave in 3 refreshing fragrances. And now Irish Spring fragrance, too.
What do you say now, Prince?
Ribbit.
Ribbit?
On the CBS Tuesday night movies, Clint Eastwood is back as Dirty Harry.
What does a girl have to do to go to bed with you?
Try knocking on the door. When the job is dirty, they call on Harry. Magnum Force, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain. Due to mature theme, viewer discretion advised.
Injured Scott May of the Chicago Bulls. Keith, what's his problem?
Well, evidently he has a pinched lining underneath one of his kneecaps, which is a very painful situation, which might require surgery at the end of the season. They expect him to be playing in about a week.
6:46 to go in the first quarter. 11-8. Portland leading Chicago. The Bulls with the ball. And Walton is leaning in on Gilmore. Not trying to get him any easy baskets down low. Shepard goes back to Artis. Comes right straight up. Hit by Dickey. Controlled by the Blazers. It's Holland. Lead quickly to Davis. When you play defense against the Blazers, Pete, you've got to watch the speed of those guards. They can burn you. Here's Neal moving left side.
Well, that's right, Brent. It's not even the guards, though. It's everybody. They all cut to the basket so well without the ball and look for each other.
Came up on Walton, who had the stuff and it wouldn't stay down. Neal came out, and Mingel with control for Chicago. They get a second opportunity, but there's a whistle. So they gave him a fresh 24, and it didn't touch the rim, so they should not have done it. They reset the 24-second clock. Jack Ramsey is up. Earl Strom is over there now, telling the scoring table. Let's get the clock right. Back down to 13. They gave him a fresh 24, and they did not deserve it. So it is Holland, Mingel, Shepard, Dickey, and Gilmore. And here's Artis. 3-on-1. Artis fouled by Neal. You notice whenever Bill Walton is in there and there's a question about whether or not he fouled someone, the other player gets his hand up right away.
That's right, exactly. Now look at where Gilmore caught the ball. He turns around, and what Gilmore is so good at, just taking that ball to the basket. Most centers or people inside would have a tendency to try and fade away with it. Gilmore is so strong and big, he just takes it right to the hoop.
He is the most underrated center in basketball. He reminds me of Nate Thurmond, who was always overshadowed by Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. Artis is always overshadowed by Bill Walton and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's a one-point game. Blazers ahead of the Bulls. 5:47 to go in the first. Walton Walton facing the basket, waiting for the cutter. Neal at the line. Bill hustled back in and got a hand on it. It's Hollins to the hoop. Dishes off against Gilmore to Davis, who couldn't get to the other side. That was just the foul.
That was a tremendous play by the Trailblazers, passing that ball about. But if you notice, Artis Gilmore was by himself under the basket, and they're passing the ball back and forth. He's got to have help inside.
Beat him up! Derek Dickey, formerly of the champion Golden State Warriors. Inside, Gilmore's got it. Walton won't even contest it.
Watch Bill Walton go over the top and help out on that rebound. Now here's the pass. One pass. Gilmore's underneath. Over to Davis on the other side. Gilmore, as great as he is, he can't do it all by himself.
Blazers lead at 13-12. 4:59 to go in the first. Neal puts it down. Pretty drive, wasn't it? Well, he'd been shooting outside, so they tightened up on him that time, and the big man just dribbled it to the hole. Here's Hollins. Shepard. Mingel had a block by Hollins and gets it back. Shepard controls the Holland miss and comes inside for the hoop. Shepard had good position that time.
Yes, he did, and the position he had was on Bill Walton. It was a pretty impressive play, taking him to the basket.
Oh, the big men square off, and it'll be Walton dribbling, running hook shot. 17-14, Blazers up by 3. We've got 4:13 to go in the first. The Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic will be coming your way after this NBA action. A report at halftime. Dickey yanked down by Walton. Off now quickly to Davis. Hits Gross, who cut beautifully on the left side. Shepard goes to Holland. Checking for Gross. Now here's Gilmore challenging Walton. Neal, as Chicago gets only one shot. Mingel hustles a steal for the Bulls. Shepard slides inside. Dickey was out hustled that time by Davis. And Davis goes to the glass for Jack Ramsey.
That play was made possible by Bill Walton at the other end. A tremendous play. This is how smart he is. He couldn't grab the rebound. He just tipped it out. He saw one of his players was there, and that created the beginning of that fast break.
Maurice Lucas not here with Portland today because of an injured hand. Was struck accidentally by Elvin Hayes in Washington. Badly swollen the next day, so he went back to Portland. Larry Steele not here because of an injured ankle. Dave Twardzik in civilian clothes. Gilmore, but the 24-second clock has gone off.
Now watch this ball coming out. See Walton, you see him, he was looking at for his teammates for a place to tip that ball. That's just incredible.
Keith, we've got 3 minutes to go in the first quarter here in the Chicago Stadium. It's the Trailblazers 19, the Chicago Bulls 14. Hollins left alone.
Well, that really points up the difference in the defense of these two teams. Hollins getting a wide open jump shot at the free throw line. At the other end to play before, the Bulls couldn't even get a shot off in the 24 seconds.
Chicago getting sloppy right now. Corky Calhoun out there for Ramsey. Here comes Hollins. Taken down by Hollins. Comes in behind Shepard. Let's see if Chicago can regroup against the champion. Dickey, right baseline. 21-16 and 2:20 to go in the first quarter. And Walton wants a timeout, so the Blazers will go over. They'll huddle up with Coach Jack Ramsey. They've opened up a 5-point lead at halftime. Jimmy the Greek will talk about the St. Louis Cardinals and a possible new coach.
Like your GM car?
Yeah.
Want to keep that great GM feeling?
We sure do.
Then shake hands with Mr. Goodwrench. He's dedicated to improved customer care at more than 6,000 participating GM dealers.
You want genuine GM parts. You want your car fixed right, on time. That's what I want, too. Caring about your GM car helps keep me in business.
Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins, and we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are. I'm Dick. You think you are, but you never were.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Save during the 23rd Magnavox annual sale. Big price cuts on color television, even touch-tune models. Big price cuts on color portables, too. save on Magnavox Decorator Stereo, and more. Chances are, what you want is on sale. So come on down to the big Magnavox annual sale today. Last week of the Magnavox annual sale is on now. Last chance for these once-a-year savings from Magnavox.
Following the game, stay tuned for the Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic.
2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. 21-16, the Trailblazers leading the Chicago Bulls. Sellout crowd on hand, and for the first time, Norm Van Leer has checked in. Did not start because of the flu. Like Mickey Johnson, he's been in a shooting slump of late. Welcome to those of you who've joined us who've been watching the Nets against the Celtics. Here in Chicago, it's the world champion Portland Trailblazers with Bill Walton firing up a miss. Hollins with control. Blazers lead Chicago 21-16. Hollins with the ball for Chicago. Maurice Lucas not playing. Back in Portland because of an injury. So too is Larry Steele. With Dave Twardzik out, Jack Ramsey is down to 8 men. Taken away on the steal. Here's Hollins. Pass it off to Corky Calhoun, and the Blazers pick up that easy fast break basket off the turnover.
Turnovers at this point, Brent, hurting Chicago. They have 7. Portland only has 2.
Chicago has been sloppy here the last couple of minutes. Artis Gilmore and Bill Walton. Foul called as Gilmore went up with 1:25 to go in the first quarter. It's the Portland Trailblazers 23 and Chicago 16.
This is really a big play in this game. This is Walton's second foul. Now watch, look at Gilmore holding Walton off. Now watch Bill Walton on defense. Gilmore frustrated here. He'll get the ball back, turn around to shoot. Now watch Bill Walton the way he plays defense. Going up with him, he's got to go up straight with him, and it looked like that time he got him on the arm a little bit. He just cannot afford to do that.
That's 2 fouls on Walton.
Well, Strong just told Jack Ramsey that he and Ramsey must have a difference of opinion on that last foul.
9 points for Artis here in the first quarter. 5-point Portland lead. Neal. PR done. Foul as he yanked it back down. Loose ball foul called against Norm Van Leer. Team fouls 4 against Chicago. Blazers already in the penalty. Chicago has just reached it. So the rookie from Alabama on the floor for Jack Ramsey, along with Hollins in the backcourt. Come down to the 1-minute mark left in the first. Neal. That's why they continue to win. When he starts, he can do a lot of things, can't he?
Oh, he sure can.
Done there to cut off Van Leer, and he was pushing, says Paul Mahalik. Ramsey disagreeing. Keith, when a player like Mickey Johnson gets into a horrendous shooting slump, as we are reminded about the Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic, those other leaders will be going down for the final round. We'll also have reported halftime from Vin Scully. He's down there with Jack Whitaker and Pat Summerall. Keith, when a player gets into a shooting slump like Mickey Johnson, what's the best thing to do? Just continue to shoot or forget about it for a while?
Well, he's got to keep putting the ball up. He's got to just... You know, the bad part about a slump is it affects your whole game, and that's what's happening to Mickey Johnson. He should just not be concerned with the shooting and concentrate on everything else, taking the easy shot when he's got it.
That's why he's over on the bench. Van Leer trying to come inside. Foul called. Tom Owens will give Walton a breather with 23 seconds left here in the first quarter. Cliff Pondexter checks in at the other end for Chicago. So both coaches hit their bench. For the Bulls, Dickey, Holland, Van Leer, Shepard, and Pondexter. For the Trailblazers, Calhoun, Dunn, Owens, Neal, Hollins. Last 20 seconds first quarter. Portland up by 4 points.
I would guess that they would try and take the ball into Lloyd Neal down inside.
There it is. Coming inside on Dickey. Tap back up with 3 seconds to go. Neal kept it there. as the buzzer comes to an end. That's exactly what they did, Keith. They went to Lloyd Neal. He put it down. So at the end of one quarter, it's the world champions ahead of Chicago by 6 points.
Introducing the third generation Monte Carlo. The third generation of a highly successful personal luxury car. Its highly original styling opens new dimensions in affordable luxury and in comfort. With more rear seat headroom, legroom, and hip room than last year's Monte Carlo. The third generation Monte Carlo. Drive it and put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
Zebco puts it on the line with the Zebco Omega 33 XPL. Smooth, powerful ball-bearing drive, ultra-sensitive drag, and an interchangeable handle for right or left-hand retrieve. The Zebco Omega 33 XPL. Just one of the Zebco Omegas. Made in America by Zebco. The folks you fish with.
Control is very important in the game of basketball. And control is vital in the game of life, especially when you're dealing with high blood pressure. Right now, I'm having my blood pressure checked. That's the only way to tell if it's high. If it is high, I'll follow my doctor's advice to control it.
It's normal, Tom.
Good. For more information, ask your American Heart Association. I'm Tom Borwinkle. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
An announcement from the American Heart Association in cooperation with the NBA.
Keith, there's Dave Twardzik. What's his problem? Not in uniform today for Portland.
Well, I spoke to him. We saw him over a week ago, and he had a virus first, and then he fell on his tailbone. That was bothering him. Those things are both better now. He just sprained his ankle the last game, and that's been keeping him out.
There's Lloyd Neal's stat. He led the Blazers in the first quarter. Not in there right now. There's Tom Owens giving Walton a breather. Calhoun moving against Mickey Johnson, who's back for Ed Badger. Owens runs it down. Davis, Bulls hustling on defense. Loose ball picked up by Gross. And it's it. You can see the bench come alive in the background as the 24-second shot clock expired, even though there was no buzzer. The Bulls coaching staff reminding the officials that it had expired on the turnover. Here comes Chicago.
There's no way you could miss the reaction of that Chicago coaching staff over there.
There's Ramsey over now asking about why there wasn't a horn. Armstrong has checked in for Chicago. He's working with Van Leer in the backcourt. Pondexter and Cazzie Russell out there now, too. Doesn't take Russell long to get off his first shot. It'll go to Portland. So we've got Tate Armstrong, number 14, Cazzie Russell. We start the second quarter. Trailblazers leading the Bulls 27-21. Lloyd Neal with an outstanding first quarter. There's Cazzie, formerly of the Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors, played on a championship team with the New York Knicks. Also was a CBS announcer briefly this year. Davis up. Taken off by Pondexter. Now it's Van Leer. Dunn is back, awaits him. Norman tried to cut the corner, and Calhoun got a hand on it. Armstrong yanked down by Owens. Backcourt foul. Mahalik and Strom bring it up to the other end.
Foul was on Tate Armstrong that time. That happens oftentimes with a rookie coming into the game. Took the shot, missed it. In his anxiety, went after the rebound and fouled Tom Owens in the backcourt for a two-shot foul.
10 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the first half in the Chicago Stadium. Sellout crowd on hand. 7-point lead by the world champion. Pondexter goes to Johnson. Comes up on Gross.
Now that's what a guy should do when he's been in a shooting slump. Take the ball to the basket.
Welcome those of you who have been watching the game down in New Orleans. I'm Brent Musburger with Keith Erickson in Chicago. You're watching the world champion Portland Trail Blazers, and Johnny Davis fire up a miss. Here come the Chicago Bulls. It is Armstrong, 28-23. Chicago trailing Portland right now with 10:09 to go. Those of you who have not been with us, Maurice Lucas is not here for the Blazers because of an injury. Van Leer, trips coming in down the middle. Keith, what a difference in watching the Chicago Bulls of Ed Badger as compared to those of Dick Motta.
This is really a running team as opposed to that slowdown. Here's T.R. Dunn coming over, putting the crunch on Van Leer, knocking him to the floor.
We've got a timeout with 10 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first half in Chicago. Portland leading the Chicago Bulls 28-23.
Saving $600.
We're saving.
This family has rented a Ryder truck
We're saving.
and moved 500 miles.
We're saving 600.
By packing and moving themselves, they saved a lot of money over what professional movers wanted. True, when you rent a Ryder truck, you have to do the work yourself.
We're saving 600.
But if you just keep repeating how much money you're saving, you'll be amazed how much lighter those cartons will seem.
We're saving $600.
Is Gillette foamy thick and rich enough to stop this super sports car? No. Is foamy thick and rich enough to support this lovely lady? No. Is foamy thick and rich enough to hold up this husky hiker? No.
But if you want a clean, close shave, it's more than thick and rich enough.
One step closer. One step closer. One step closer. That's what Exxon people say. One step closer. At the end of every day, Exxon's dedicated to finding energy for you. Energy for America.
Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents highlights of the all-new Chunichi Cup from Japan. Plus, the Score Off-Road Race of Champions with Farnelli Jones and Mickey Thompson competing. And we'll take a look at the newly crowned heavyweight champion, Leon Spinks. That's next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central and Pacific.
For a report on the Milwaukee-New Orleans game, let's go now to John McLaughlin in New Orleans.
And we welcome those of you watching the Portland-Chicago game to our game in the Louisiana Superdome. That's Brian Winters, who is now 6 out of 6 from the free throw line. The Bucks lead the Jazz 35-30. We've got 10.5 minutes left to play in the first half. New Orleans in white and Milwaukee in the green uniforms. Paul Griffin going to Goodrich.
And
Gail Goodrich collects the bucket for the New Orleans Jazz. This has been tight. He now has 12 points and trims the Bucks lead to 3. Benson tried to pass it to English, almost threw it through the hoop. Griffin. Bailey lost the ball. Brian Winters with the baseball pass down to Alex English. Walden with a nifty feed to English, but it's all for naught. Lane violation, and New Orleans will take over. Nine minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half. Jazz trailing by 3.
Welcome back to Chicago. Baskets by Van Leer and Russell. It's 31-27. The world champion still ahead. Owens muscling to the hoop. Went right back after it. Chicago takes it down. Lloyd Neal and Lionel Hollins will be coming back soon. Van Leer, 31-29. Chicago eases to within 2. Ramsey wants a timeout. He's upset.
That's what the Chicago fans love in Chicago. Norm Van Leer hasn't been doing it lately. He's got to put that ball up to the basket, and he can shoot it.
Timeout, Ramsey. got the Blazers over there. Meanwhile, it's Ed Batcher, Jerry Sloan, and Gene Tormolen talking to the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, Buck. I just went to another bar and asked for light beer from Miller.
Yeah?
They said, sorry, Buck, we don't have it.
They didn't have it?
No. I don't want some beer that's going to fill me up.
No.
I want light. Tastes great.
Right.
Has a third less calories than a regular beer.
Yeah.
And, man, it's less filling. You think I'm going to the other bar again? No way. From now on, the buck stops here.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The Hilton Rainbow Service welcome. Look for it on your next business trip. In the nation's capital, it's minutes from Pennsylvania Avenue at the Washington Hilton. In Los Angeles, you'll find Rainbow Service near the Civic Center at the Los Angeles Hilton. While in San Francisco, it's just a cable car ride from almost anywhere. Hilton Rainbow Service. You'll find it at the heart of every Hilton, in the heart of most every city.
Let the Hilton Rainbow brighten your day. Say what's new today in the Chevrolet.
Chevy's all-new Malibu has all kinds of good news for here and now. Good news about fuel economy. 29 miles per gallon here on the highway, 21 here in the city. It's here and now. There's also good news about room here on the inside, here in the trunk. It's here and now. The all-new Malibu. It's here at your Chevy dealers now.
On the CBS Tuesday night movies, Clint Eastwood is back as Dirty Harry.
What does a girl have to do to go to bed with you?
Try knocking on the door. When the job is dirty, they call on Harry. Magnum Force, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain. Due to mature theme, viewer discretion advised.
Back in Chicago, Ed Batcher yelling instructions at the Bulls. Artis Gilmore has just come off his bench.
The Chicago bench looks like they've got about 15 guys there. Here's the Portland bench, and that's all of them right there. You don't see any more.
Bill Walton still being rested, has not played at all in the second quarter. Gross cuts inside. Johnson came across. Score it, says Earl Strom. Goaltending the call. 33-29.
Watch the call on this. Watch the ball at the board now. The call was at the ball was pinned, and we really couldn't tell from this far away.
Van Leer. Chicago, of course, at home. They're dressed in white, as are all home teams in the NBA. Here's Russell, right baseline, forces one up. Mickey Johnson came right back up out after it. Foul call underneath.
There's Cassie Russell taking his patented fall-away shot. The ball goes up, and the call was Lloyd Neal coming over the top of Mickey Johnson.
Johnson popped out to meet the inbounds pass. Lloyd Neal with those 15 points in the first quarter. Started him. You could hear Strom pick up Owens on bumping away from the ball that time.
That's really an amazing play. The call was on the backup center, Tom Owens. I guarantee you they'd never make that call on Bill Walton. These guys really go at it inside. And
Roche coming over on the double team. Here now is Owens. 33-29. Portland with the ball, leading Chicago. Armstrong there with Hollins, and he fouled him as Lionel tried to turn the corner and head for the basket. Hey, Bill Walton is getting a long rest right now, Keith.
Yes, he is.
Artis has checked back in. Gilmore scored 9 points, so he is the Chicago leader. Van Leer lets Hollins come up above him. Norman has some trouble guarding on Lionel. Evidence last year in the playoffs. Davis taking Van Leer at the other end. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 4 points. Goes down now towards 5. Van Leer wants one-on-one. 3 seconds. Armstrong with 1 second. Nate Armstrong, their top draft choice, hits one at the perimeter. It's a 2-point game. And Walton getting ready. Gilmore cuts Owens off. Hollins fouled by Van Leer, who popped out on the ball. And here's the big man. The most valuable player in last year's championship series. That 6-game triumph over the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia under Billy Cunningham leading the Atlantic. Portland ahead in the Pacific. Chicago now trailing Denver and Milwaukee. Roche's drive is off. Foul called.
That was on Lloyd Neal, I believe, and that was the third layup that Bob Gross has missed. You won't see that very often.
And that's 3 fouls against Lloyd Neal, Keith Erickson. So with Lucas Holmes and Neal experiencing some foul trouble, you'll have to be careful as Johnson driving on Lloyd. Lloyd contested him that time. Mickey comes right back. Stays with it. Hit by Walton. Gilmore at the other side. Stops it home. 7-2, Artis Gilmore. Wow, listen to the crowd in Chicago. We're tied.
That play brought the house down here. Watch, keep your eyes on Artis Gilmore down at the bottom of your screen. Mickey Johnson got 2 or 3 offensive rebounds. Walton blocks the shot. Now watch the way Gilmore takes this ball. He clears everybody out and takes it right to the basket. That's the strength of Artis Gilmore. He knows what he can do, and he does it.
6:35 to go. Horse at halftime. Jimmy the Greek and a report on the Jackie Gleason Inverary Golf Classic from Vin Scully. Stolen from Walton. Johnson backing up. He was the front half of the double team. Dan Lear wants a man on the right side. Kazzy recognizes it. Jump pass to Armstrong. Foul called. 3-second violation. No foul underneath on the turnover. It'll go to Portland.
That was tremendous defense on that play.
There are the two who will square off in Horse at halftime. Paul Westphal and Lyle Hollins. And Hollins, of course, you're watching right here. Westphal, marvelous shooter of the Phoenix Suns. Speaking to the Phoenix Suns, also we've got a report from the Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic at halftime. We're going to break for a commercial. I mentioned Phoenix. We've got their coach, John McLeod, their general manager, Jerry Colangelo. They're watching here.
You're the Pepsi generation.
I never won anything before.
Man, it's always the first time. Come and have a Pepsi day. Come on and make this day a celebration. Come on and join the Pepsi generation. Come on and have a Pepsi day.
Leslie Caron for Color Track by RCA.
In Gigi, my brooch was blue, the leaves were green, and my gown was lavender lace. If these colors don't look right to you, you should know about Color Track from RCA. Getting the color right is what Color Track is all about. It actually adjusts the colors and locks them on track.
Before you see the Color Track system grabs it, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track.
RCA is making television better and better.
Fred, you're getting married. You gotta look great, so stop shaving. It's better to get stroked in the morning.
The Bic shaver?
The Bic shaver is so responsive it doesn't shave you, it strokes you.
I'm gonna get stroked like this every morning.
And the Bic shaver's cheaper than blades, yet it's a blade and handle in one.
Fred, marriage agrees with you.
Well, he really got stroked this morning.
The Bic shaver, lots of great shaves from just one Bic shaver. Then it's time for the next. So don't shave, get stroked in the morning.
Next Sunday at 1:45 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports presents NBA regional action with the New York Knicks taking on Boston, New Orleans going against San Antonio, Philadelphia tangling with Phoenix, and Milwaukee at Portland. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's next Sunday for NBA regional action.
Those games, of course, will have a great bearing on the NBA playoff picture. 6 teams from each conference will make the playoffs. Portland ranked 1 in the West. Chicago 7th. Milwaukee ahead of them right now. Here's Hollins coming up. Block shot. Russell was there on defense. Here's Van Leer off from Johnson. Bounce pass to Tate Armstrong, the rookie from Duke. It's off. Kazzy Russell with control in the turnaround. Jack Ramsey's 5 starters on the floor for the world champions right now. They trail it by a point. They can recapture the lead. Here's Lloyd Neal. Artis Gilmore on Walton. Gilmore right there with him. Walton waiting. Shot clock down to 5. Johnson switches. Shot clock down to 1. They're not going to make it on the turnover. Here's Armstrong. And Lila Hollins was there, but Russell picks up the deflection, and Gilmore coming inside. What a move by Gross. Bobby Gross blocked the shot. Davis at the other end. What a 4-point turnaround that was.
Tremendous play. There's the first block by Lionel Hollins. Now watch this pass by Cassie into Gilmore. Perfectly timed by Bobby Gross as Gilmore went up. And then the play was made even further by Bill Walton, getting the ball out to Johnny Davis.
Portland regains the lead. Armstrong scrambling, goes outside to Johnson. Still off. Gilmore coming up over the top. Try to keep it in play. It'll go to Portland. Gilmore has 2 fouls, Keith.
We talked a minute ago about the shooting slump that Mickey Johnson has been in, and he's been doing the things out here that he's got to do to get himself out of that slump. Although he's missed a couple of shots, he's really been strong on the boards, playing good defense, stolen a couple of balls, gets his mind off his shooting, then the shooting will come back. It's got to come back. He just can't worry about it.
There is Jerry Colangelo on the left. Outstanding general manager of the Phoenix Suns. John McLeod, his coach, is right next to him. They're coming in here for a game Tuesday night in the Chicago Stadium. Talking about the playoffs, there's John. McLeod's Phoenix Suns have the 3rd best record right now in the West. Actually, they have a half-game lead on Denver. You put Denver in for winning the division automatically, but that Denver-Phoenix race has great consequences as far as the home court advantage is concerned should they square off. Even if Phoenix doesn't win the division, they can wind up with a home court advantage as Wilbur Holland hits one left-handed for Chicago, and they go back to the lead. 4:27. I think the Chicago Bulls realize the importance of this game. They have been in a 2-week slump, and they have got to come back, and they're facing the best team in the NBA. Walton goes up and uses the glass. Blazers lead at 37-36.
How do you figure a play like that, Brent? Goes up and shoots a jump shot over a 7'2" center, and just missed 2 free throws on the play before that.
And then yanks a rebound down. Up in the middle of Davis, back to Gross. Johnson hustling on defense. Off to Cassie Russell. Here's Van Leer. Inside to Gilmore. Walton was outside. Nice pass by Van Leer. But traveling is the call, so it doesn't count. Van Leer spotted Walton on him and looked for the big man underneath.
All right, Portland lost the ball down there because they overpassed the ball. Now watch Cassie Russell come down and give the ball up to Norm Van Leer, who gives it to Artis Gilmore inside. It looked like his pivot foot stayed on the floor that time. I don't think it was traveling.
Gilmore was down, got back up quickly. Holland Davis saves it. Holland is there. Shepard is on Gross. Walton off to Johnson. 3:28 left. Gilmore took the lead pass. Wanted Shepard. On the turnover, it'll be the Trailblazers.
That's the problem with giving the ball up to your center, to Artis Gilmore, who you saw on your screen there.
They tell me Artis Gilmore is a scuba diver. He'd go down there and a shark could take a look at 7'2" Artis and scamper out of the way. Walton coming up on Artis. Yanked down by Mickey Johnson. Here's Wilbur Holland. Cutting to the hoop. Lays it up. No, says Paul Mahalik. Offensive foul is the call against Holland, so it won't count.
All right, let's watch now Holland. Let's watch Bob Gross down in the lane, see if he has position. It looked like he was pretty stationary. It looked like just his arms were moving, so that was a good call by the official, as far as we could tell.
Champions up by a point, 37-36. Now Chicago's got a chance on the turnover. 2:56 to go in the half. Jimmy the Greek will be coming along. Also Horse, Westfall, and Hollins. And a report on the Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic. Ed Badger has instructed Chicago on what he wants. Van Leer took a finger up around the mouth, was sewed up. Now he's ready. Gilmore muscling. Johnson driving to the glass. Loose ball foul. Interference coming up around the rim of the basket.
These fans here really disagreeing with that call, but that was a good call by Paul Mahalik. Mickey Johnson was up and had his hand right on the rim.
2:37 to go in the half. Blazers up by a point. Here's Neal. Johnson paying strict attention to Lloyd this quarter. Here's Neal coming up with that. Gilmore gets to the glass. One shot for the champion. Hollins picks up Van Leer. Walton awaits Gilmore. Takes his spot away. Bill muscling in. Now they go to Artis. Artis complaining. Shepard. Walton jumped over on defense. Inside was Mickey Johnson. coming right back up left-handed. Chicago up by a point in 155.
That's a great play by Mickey Johnson. You just have to love a guy that's going to keep going to the boards like that. Keep playing hard.
Now it's Walton waiting for a cutter. Take it left-handed. No, says Strom. We've got an offensive foul. That is 3 fouls against Walton. 1:35 in the first half. Been a good one. Holland wheels left side. Gross with a hand on it. It'll stay in the possession of Chicago, and Tommy Owens checks in.
Saw Bill Walton down in the screen there going over and saying something to Earl Strom. He didn't say anything to him when the foul was called, but when he came down the floor, he certainly did.
Davis got over on Holland. Holland regains it. 1:20. Chicago up by a point. Chicago taking time. Johnson back in, turnaround on Neal. Mickey Johnson with Walton watching. It's a 3-point Chicago lead over the world champion. Boy, everybody gets sky high when Portland comes to town. Get those tickets and get out and beat the champions. It's like the New York Yankees in baseball, the Montreal Canadiens in hockey. What a crowd they attract. Here's Owens now. Van Leer switches out. Inside, away from Owens, battles for control. Gilmore is there. Forced his shot up. It'll go to Chicago. Offensive foul call. Not in control that time. Tommy Owens with 2 personals. 40 seconds to the half and a 3-point Chicago lead. Van Leer backing up on Holland. Norman cuts to the hoop, comes out to Shepard. There's that rookie from Maryland. He'll position himself underneath.
That's the value of Norm Van Leer out here. Penetrating, taking the ball to the hole, making 2 men jump out on him, leaving a man open underneath.
Speaking of penetration, 29 assists the other night for Kevin Porter of the New Jersey Nets. That's the time left here, the first half. Hollins moved the other way on Van Leer. Wide open. Last 7 seconds. Portland goes to the ball. Here is Van Leer. 2 seconds, got it off in time. We have come to the end of the first half in Chicago. The Chicago Bulls leading the world champions 42-39. Right now, we're going to check in on all the games. So let's go down to Milwaukee, New Orleans. Let's go to Frank Lieber and John McLaughlin.
And we welcome those of you watching the Portland-Chicago game for an update here in New Orleans. Minute and a half to go in the first half, and the Jazz leading the Bucks 55-47. Frank Lieber here along with John McLaughlin, and that was Gus Bailey bringing the crowd out of their shoes with that stuff. That's worth another look, John.
Beautiful play. This is a guard, too. He comes up handling the ball, gets inside, but he leaves the floor pretty far from the basket, and this is a left-handed dunk.
Ryan Winters went down the other end and answered from Milwaukee. It's the Jazz 57 and the Bucks 49. As the action getting fast and furious, and Milwaukee wants a timeout. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to play in the first half here at the Louisiana Superdome. New Orleans 57, Milwaukee 49.
We're at halftime in the Chicago Stadium, 42-39. Lloyd Neal had 15 points in the first quarter, scoreless in the second quarter for the champions. Coming up on CBS, Horse, then Jimmy the Greek, and a report on the Inverrary Golf Classic.
From blazing heat to paralyzing cold, season after season, the J.C. Penney battery has more power to start your car more dependably than any other car battery you can buy. And it never needs water. In fact, it's so dependable, it's warranted for as long as you own your car. If it ever fails to hold a charge, return it. We'll replace it, free. Only at J.C. Penney Auto Centers or catalog desks. It's the last battery your car will ever need.
You're a good friend. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? Well, it wasn't easy getting tickets for this game. Hey, Bob. Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you've got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
Hey,
chainsaw with its case. Uh-oh, somebody left it. Probably taking a coffee break. It's a McCulloch Mac 140. Wow. It's got automatic oiling. That's slick. This is the chain brake safety feature. Yeah. It stops the chain in less than a tenth of a second. That's fast. And look at these teeth. They sharpen themselves with a press of a button. Mine don't.
The McCulloch Mac 140. You can't buy another chainsaw with all these features at any price.
That McCulloch's got just about everything. Yeah, but I bet it can't swim. Good point.
McCulloch. In the yellow pages under saws.
These 1,700 one-gallon gas cans reach up to the highest suspension bridge in the world, demonstrating just one advantage of the new Chevy Chevette. If the car you drive now has an average EPA combined city highway mileage estimate of 17 miles to a gallon of gas, and you switch to a Chevy Chevette with its higher mileage, you might save up to this much gas, as much as 1,700 gallons over 5 years of normal driving. 1,700 gallons, enough to reach from the bottom of Royal Gorge to the bridge above and then some.
Hi, everyone. I'm Don Criqui, and this year at halftime on CBS coverage of NBA basketball, we have some of the top players in the league matched up in the old schoolyard game of horse, where a player must duplicate his opponent's shots or be assessed a penalty letter. 5 misses means 5 letters. That spells horse, and he's out. Today, Paul Westphal of Phoenix is matched against Lionel Hollins of Portland, and for more on the rules, here's Mendy Rudolph.
The basic rules of horse are as follows. The player in control must describe his shot beforehand. Now, 2 consecutive shots from the same area are not allowed unless someone moves at least 5 feet away. There are trick shots allowed. However, the same trick shot cannot be attempted more than once in the contest. The flip of the coin will determine who goes first. Now, there's going to be disputes out there, and if there are, my word will be the final judge.
Lionel Hollins won the toss, so he'll lead away.
Okay, Lionel. Westphal with the lead now.
I'm going to do a 360 underhand scoop shot off the board to the left hand.
Hold it. Let's hear that again. Say it again.
360-degree turn in the air, left-handed underhand scoop shot off the board.
That's with your opposite hand,
yeah,
right?
So he has to do it from that side to the right hand if I make it, right?
Go.
Spectacular shot by Westphal.
Nice. I didn't see that. Did you catch that? Did you catch what he did now?
Did he go this way?
Did he come in?
He come in 360 degrees before you do that. Did you turn this way and shoot? I turned toward my shooting hand. You would turn this way. Yeah.
You got that. You want to give it a go? Want to do a good hit?
Pressure on Hollins.
And miss. We have an H for Hollins. Paul, call your shot.
Okay, I'm going to bank it. I'm going to hit the board on the left side, cross under and shoot it with my opposite hand on that side.
All right. Did you catch that line?
You hit it on this side? Yeah, you hit it on this side, cross under, shoot it right-handed.
Hit the back of the board. Go on the opposite side. And use the board to put it in.
Yeah.
Hey. Very good try, Lionel.
Okay, off-handed hook. Left-handed hook, this one right in here.
Opposite hand hook.
Westphal is normally a right-handed shooter, but he's close to being ambidextrous. He can shoot almost equally well with either hand.
A jumper from about 20 feet.
And that's the money shot of Lionel Hollins. And it's 1 letter up for each man.
Hollins calls the fight.
Fade away.
Straightaway jumper.
Hollins, the trigger man on that outstanding fast break of Portland, again hitting the jump shot, and now he takes the lead.
A letter for Westphal. H-O. Hollins calls the shot.
Rely on that one.
And a miss.
Get him now. Hook shot, left hand.
Right back to the offhand for Westphal.
Opposite hand hook shot. Hollins will try it with the right hand. And miss. Letter for Holland. We're tied at H.O.
360 left-handed cross under and bank it.
360 left-handed cross under. And made.
So you turn this way. Yeah, right.
Westfall putting on a show at the Omni International Complex in Atlanta.
Oh, miss.
A third letter goes up for Lionel Hollins. But now Hollins gets the shooting advantage.
Hollins with a straight jumper makes. Westfall misses, and we're tied at HOR apiece.
Let's see here, says Lionel.
Lionel.
Corner straight in.
This is
Corner
his
straight
shot.
in. And makes. Westfall misses. Lionel Hollins in the lead. Needs one to close the door completely.
Pressure's down Westfall.
And he missed. Westfall will now have the advantage.
Damn, I gave it to him.
I gave it to him, says Hollins. We'll see. Westfall with the shooting advantage.
Makes the left-handed hook across the line. Hollins will have to attempt it with his right hand across the line. No. Oh, too close. Disallow that. It's outside.
That's
with the letter up for Hollins.
Now let's watch it on the replay. We see. And it's one letter up for each man.
Hollins calls the foul.
Fade away.
Straightaway jumper.
Hollins, the trigger man on that outstanding fast break of Portland, again hitting the jump shot, and now he takes the lead.
A letter for Westfall. H.O. Hollins calls the shot.
Rely on that one.
And a miss.
Get him now. Hook shot. Left hand.
Right back to the offhand for Westfall.
Opposite hand hook shot. Hollins will try it with the right hand. And miss. A letter for Hollins. We're tied at H.O.
360 left-handed cross under and bank it.
360 left-handed cross under. And made.
So you turn this way. Yeah, right.
Westfall putting on a show at the Omni International Complex in Atlanta.
Oh, missed.
A third letter goes up for Lionel Hollins. But now Hollins gets the shooting advantage.
Hollins with a straight jumper makes. Westfall misses, and we're tied at HOR apiece.
Let's see here, says Lionel.
Lionel.
Corner straight in.
This is
Corner
his
straight
shot.
in. And makes. Westfall misses. Lionel Hollins in the lead. Needs one to close the door completely.
Pressure's down Westfall.
And he missed. Westfall will now have the advantage.
Damn, I gave it to him.
I gave it to him, says Hollins. We'll see. Westfall with the shooting advantage.
Makes the left-handed hook across the line. Hollins will have to attempt it with his right hand across the line. No. Oh, too close. Disallow that. It's outside.
That's
with the letter up for Hollins.
Now let's watch it on the replay. We see Westfall hit the shot just inside the dotted line. And Mendy's on top of the play as Hollins comes in. And he's very close to the basket. It's really a layup, so a fourth letter goes up, and we're even up with one letter to go.
Go, Paul.
I'm going to bounce it off the board, off my head, then shoot it in, off the board.
This could be the finisher.
And made.
Did you throw it off the board? Bounce it off the board, off the head, and then shoot it, bank it.
This could close out Hollins. It does.
Westfall, the winner.
And so, Paul Westfall advances over Lionel Hollins. We thank the Atlanta Hawks for their cooperation. All right, let's
meet now Paul Westfall of Phoenix Suns. Paul, you were doing so many of those 360s, you thought you were at a hoedown there for.
Hey, well, I missed a few of them. Lionel almost snuck in there and beat me. He was hitting good from the outside, and I took it a little too easy on some of those trick ones.
How much time do you spend working on shots like that?
Not very much. When I was real young, I used to mess around like that a lot. I think it helps you develop some body control.
Very good. Well, Paul, nicely done. It was a tough match with Lionel, but you advance now.
Well, he's tough because he can shoot with either hand, too, and when I get up against a guy like that, it's harder to beat him.
All right, Paul Westfall of the Phoenix Suns.
A loser in the first round receives a check for $500. The winner, of course, advances. Join us next week when Rudy Tomjanovich goes against Kevin Greavy. The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. See William Conrad in a familiar role, a detective, as he visits the Clinkers on Shields and Yarnell, Tuesday night on CBS.
It's you. It's time now. Let's check in with the Greek and see what he's got hanging out on the grapevine this afternoon. Ron Wolf left Tampa Bay. You were right about that. What led to his falling out with Coach John McKay?
I think John McKay wanted to make some kind of a trade with the Rams for their quarterback, Hayden, and Ronnie was not in favor of it. But that could have been just one of the little things.
Hey, Jimmy, St. Louis still looking for a coach. Who do you rate as the favorite to get that Cardinal job and replace Don Coryell?
Hannafin.
The assistant coach.
Right, the offensive line coach. You remember him, don't you?
Thanksgiving afternoon, what happened down the sideline?
That's right. He and Dobler had a little argument, and Dobler finishes up in New Orleans. So if he was strong enough to get rid of Dobler, I'm saying he's being moved up.
Jimmy, how did Jack Pardee and Jim Finks leave each other here in Chicago? Friendly party into the ways of the ex-Bear coach?
Bad blood. I mean, very bad blood. And by the way, you heard about the doors being locked at St. Louis? Well, the same thing happened here in Chicago. Plus the fact that Finks might even bring back Sid Gilman as an offensive coordinator. So that means, rather, that's bad blood.
Talk about ousting baseball commissioner Bowie Kuhn. Do they have enough votes, the owners?
Forget about it. There's no way it can happen. It's 100-to-1 shot.
Now, tomorrow, the congressional hearing starts investigating the NCAA. How do you look at that, Greg?
Walter Byers is a slight favorite over our Congress.
I'd make him a prohibitive favorite.
Okay.
Have a nice week, Greg.
At the conclusion of today's game and each of our NBA telecasts during the year, we're going to be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game. Now, in conjunction with this award, Chevrolet is going to present a check for $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the player's college or university. Any student may be eligible to benefit from these scholarship funds, and today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. And Keith Erickson, you and I are going to be voting for the MVP, and should we disagree, our producer, Chuck Milton, will cast the deciding vote. At the conclusion of our NBA coverage this afternoon, we'll be going down to the final round of the Jackie Gleason Inverrary Golf Classic. Last year, Jack Nicklaus won that tournament. He's coming off a hot round yesterday. I don't know if he can make it all the way back, but let's go to Vin Scully for an update on that tournament.
The final round of the Jackie Gleason Inverrary Golf Tournament is well underway, marked by good weather, a hot Florida sun, and blue skies. And the insignia of the tournament is always on the leaderboard, and it is no different today. It is crowded, and there's not much to separate the leader from the pack. Hale Irwin at 9 under par is our leader, chased by Greer Jones at 8 under. Bob Gilder has just bogeyed to go to 7 under, 2 back of Irwin. Then you see a three-way tie at 6 under par. Jerry Pate, Howard Twitty, and Andy Bean. Jack Nicklaus was at 6 under. He has just bogeyed to fall 4 shots back of Hale Irwin at 5 under par. Pat McGowan is 4 under. And then you have a three-way tie at 3 under par with Chichi Rodriguez, Bob Shearer, and Kermit Zarley. The front side here at Inverrary figures to give you trouble, so we could very well have some late-inning dramatics here with Hale Irwin trying to hold on with a charge by Jones, Gilder, and the rest of the field. That's it right now in this final round of the Jackie Gleason Inverrary from Lauderhill, Florida. Now back to NBA basketball.
Chicago trails Milwaukee in the Western Conference race for the playoffs, and at halftime, New Orleans leads Milwaukee 59-49. Chicago can pick up an important game.
Heads are turning to Vitalis. Heads are turning.
Pardon me. Can I give you a lift?
Heads are turning to Vitalis.
Hey!
Heads are turning.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Today's women are turning to men with shorter hair. That's why more men are turning to Vitalis for that clean together, younger look. So use Vitalis and start some heads turning.
Excuse me, is the seat taken?
Heads are turning.
Sir, what's the hurry? Oh, going to rent a car. Oh, well, you don't have to run. Gotta run. Oh, no, if you had an Avis Wizard number, you could walk. Walk? Call toll-free and let our Wizard system do the running. Just show a major credit card, license, sign, and get the car. I don't have to run through airport? Not with Avis. I can walk through airport.
We try hard, Avis. Avis, we don't know another way.
I'm walking through airport.
Homeward bound, coast of New England.
That's 62 feet.
The Navy. See your recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Get that rhythm. Get that rhythm. Get ready. Shoot the ball. That's my man.
Okay, if you get that rhythm down, Dave. Get that rhythm down. Get ready to shoot that ball.
Elvin Hayes and the NBA are volunteers for Special Olympics.
That's my man.
You can help a special athlete, too. Write Special Olympics, Washington, D.C.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by all the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. The Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by AC Delco, quality automotive parts for quality motoring. AC Delco.
Back in Chicago, I'm Brent Musburger with Keith Erickson. Jack Ramsey and the world champion Portland Trail Blazers trail the Chicago Bulls 42-39. And Keith, I just saw the general manager of the Trail Blazers, Harry Glickman, over there studying the stat sheet. There he is, and what he saw is the fact that Portland could score only 12 points in that second quarter, and his big man, Bill Walton, was held to 2 of 8 by Artis Gilmore, and that is quite a duel in the middle.
Quite a confrontation. Two of the best centers in professional basketball. Chicago really playing well in the first half, really has the best of just about all the stats except for shooting percentage. Neither team shooting very well.
Technical foul was called against Chicago, and Gross got to go to the free throw line. Now Strom wanting to get everything straight with his partner Paul Mahalik. They want 5 off the 24 seconds. Keith, I was looking at Glickman studying that stat sheet. I didn't see exactly why Holland picked up that technical. Did he just mouth off to Strom?
I didn't see it either. I was watching Bill Walton on the play.
Davis and Hollins, Walton, Neal, and Gross. Lucas not here. Steele not here. Walton underneath. Traveling is the call.
It's interesting to see Portland coming out there. They were really held down in check by Chicago on defense. Portland's offense not running the way they usually do. Their first play trying to get the ball inside to Bill Walton. Get something going in on the hoop.
Gross with a hand on it, knocked it out of bounds. For Chicago, it's Mingelt, Shepard, Johnson, Holland, and Gilmore. Those are the 5 who started for Ed Badger. Here's Artis. Turnaround on Walton. They had it turned over and it went right back to the Blazers, and here's Hollins. Got it, and there was a foul.
This isn't the kind of a play that you like to use to get back in the ball game. Lyle Hollins, you can see coming down without any other thoughts, just shooting that shot. But if it goes in, it's a good shot.
Hey, Lionel, come on, touch me.
Welcome, those of you who've been watching New Orleans and Milwaukee, the Chicago Bulls with the basketball in white. Artis Gilmore muscling in on Portland. Walton of the world champions off with the rebound. Hollins, the Blazers lead it by 1. 40 throw, make it 3, as Hollins has hit 2 quick field goals for him, Keith.
Well, Ed Badger saw that also. He wants to get this Chicago team together here. They're playing a little sloppy coming out here in the first half. They just can't allow Portland to get into their offense, get things going the way they held them from it in the first half.
A poem about deodorants. Roll, roll, roll on, all sticky and wet. Or spray your underarms. What a fog you'll get. So give me the stick, Old Spice deodorant stick. It goes right to the spot. All wet or foggy it's not. It guards against odor the whole day long. With Old Spice freshness, you cannot go wrong. So goodbye roll-on, so long spray. Old Spice stick, it's the only way.
Old Spice stick.
If you use a dandruff shampoo, here are 3 new reasons to switch to Selsun Blue. Dry, normal, and oily. Now Selsun Blue comes with extra conditioners for dry hair, with extra cleansers for oily hair, properly balanced for normal hair. All with a fresh, clean, new fragrance. So now Selsun Blue can do what no other shampoo can, give you really effective control of dandruff in the formula designed for your type of hair.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery.
I trust Delco batteries, and my reputation rides on Delco shock absorbers, because you never know when you're going to need Delco's smooth control.
When the road is curved and rough, you need the shock that's tough. You can trust Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco shocks and batteries. Delco shocks and batteries.
Thanks, Delco.
I won't serve one day for something I didn't do.
A Death in Canaan. A darker side of justice. Wednesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Jack Ramsey's Portland Trail Blazers have scored 6 unanswered points to start the 3rd quarter. And the champions lead Chicago 45-42. Neal on Mingelt. They go to Johnson underneath. Against the double team, in and out. Walton trying to run it down. Shepard coming in behind, fouled him.
This is a good hustle play. Watch Bill Walton get a little piece of that ball. Coming off, he's got the rebound there. Shepard coming after it. Reaches inside, hit him on the elbow.
Mingel will have to keep a close eye on Hollins now for Chicago, Keith. Lionel with 2 field goals, maneuvering inside. Gross at the perimeter. Johnson runs it down. Chicago has gone almost 2 minutes. There's an update on the Nets and the Celtics. And the Celtics climbing toward a possible playoff berth, chasing Atlanta, New Orleans. Pushing foul is called. Artis Gilmore was trying to take a pass. Walton's 4th foul.
It wasn't really one of those bad fouls. Look at Bill Walton was just out of position here. Just as Gilmore was trying to get free, he just had his foot tangled up a little bit. Nevertheless, that's a foul, and that's a big one.
Now they go to 4. Shepard. Johnson with his 14th rebound of the afternoon. Pulls Chicago to within a point. And the Bulls on the board in the second half. Shepard on gross lob to Walton. What great control. Bill was losing it, and he stayed right with it.
Any volleyball team in the world love to have that play.
Hollins popped out, and Mingelt came free for the shot. There's your volleyballer, Keith.
Watch this tap by Bill Walton. Gross throws a perfect pass right up by the hoop. Walton can't get control. Taps it twice right in. Nice touch.
Davis off to Gross at the basket. With a 2-hand over his head. They practice that every afternoon now. Here's the lead pass to Shepard. Chicago comes back at him quickly. Taken down by Lloyd Neal. It's a three-point Trailblazer lead, 9:05 to go, third quarter in Chicago. Hollins on the drive. Mingel fouled him. He's furious. Crash went crash.
Let's see if John Mengel has position on this play. Well, Lyle Hollins turns on the steam. I think Mengel made a good play on that. Nice defensive position.
Jerry Sloan.
That's right. And Norm Van Leer. He's seen plenty of that.
There's an update. New Orleans ahead of Milwaukee. Neal. Over Johnson. Mengel to the glass. He took that one down like the former Auburn linebacker that he once was. 8:40. Johnson pulls Chicago to within one. 49-48. Walton, and it's Gross who will use him as a screen. Shepard came with him, back to Bill for the jumper. Neal, control at the offensive end. He was devastating in the first period, 15 points.
Very quiet in the second period. He's got to get his offense going again here if Portland is going to win this ball game.
Blazers back on top by 3. Johnson maneuvering. Came up with a jump shot. It's one. And Mickey Johnson trying to come out of that slump. He's been an excellent rebounder. Hollins took it to Neal all the way. Counts and drew the foul. Lionel Hollins just seized that opportunity to come right down the middle.
All right, now, there's really an important part of this play. Now, watch Lionel Hollins with the ball. As he gives the ball up inside, let's see if he charges into the man, Mickey Johnson. Before the shot goes up by Lloyd Neal. It looked like it from here. He did give it off. We couldn't tell whether Johnson had good position or not on that play. All right, let's watch Mickey Johnson. Sometimes the officials don't see that play over in the left part of your screen. They're just watching the play here with Lloyd Neal taking the ball to the hole. So we're just wondering whether Earl Fromm saw the whole play. If he did, then he had a better angle on it than we did.
$20 points for Lloyd Neal. Trailblazers ahead of the Bulls, 54-50 and 7:50 to go in the third quarter before a sellout crowd in Chicago. Artis waits for a cutter, knocked away from Johnson. It'll stay with Chicago. They'll set a play. Johnson will throw it inbounds. These two teams have played 3 times this year, and Portland has won twice. Chicago won in Chicago. Taken down by Walton. Hollins bounce pass, eluded Gross off of Mahalik, so it stayed right there. Back to Holland. Pull-up jump shot. Only one shot for Chicago. Back come the champions. Walton outside with Artis flying at him. One shot apiece right now as they go back and forth. World champions up by 4, and Tom Owens will be checking in soon. Walton playing with 4 fouls. Still trying to keep Gilmore outside as much as possible. Johnson hits. Now it's a 2-point game. That's 14 for Mickey Johnson, who's been hitting about 30% the last 9 days.
It's also 3 in a row. He's feeling that stuff coming back, and he's ready to start putting it up.
Neal. Johnson down. Rebound 15 off to Shepard. Behind his back to Mickey. Portland will call a timeout after that sequence.
What a tremendous pass by Steve Shepard. There's the end of that play. The shot going in. We don't see Steve Shepard throw a behind-the-back left-handed bounce pass.
The new Monza by Chevrolet. For a car so sporty and so well equipped, it's priced surprisingly low.
To get 30 tons of logs off a mountain,
you get to know a little about fear and a lot about driving. And you get to know about ice and snow and rain and hairpin turns. And in the end, with your truck, your logs, and you still in one piece, you get to know about Miller Time, too. Miller Time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
Next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Challenge of the Sexes features the beauty and skill of JoJo Starbuck, matched against Canadian Olympic skater Don Fraser. A basketball challenge with former Delta State great Lucy Harris, taking on the Lakers' Don Ford. Plus a billiards competition. That's next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
We're back, and at halftime, Atlanta leading Buffalo 66-58. They're battling New Orleans and Boston for a playoff spot. Washington ahead of Golden State at the half. Golden State with its work cut out the second half of the season. Keith Erickson with Portland down to 8 men. In the kind of game like this, close against Chicago, run and gun, that lack of depth could affect Jack Ramsey's team.
And the one thing that you didn't mention, Artis Gilmore in there.
He's still on the floor against Tom Owens, who has replaced Walton right now. Bill with 4 fouls, Lloyd with 3. Here is Neal, knocked away from him and fouled. Three on Holland. Well, we've got Lloyd Neal at the free throw line, Keith Erickson. Let me congratulate those who were named to the National Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Paul Arizin, formerly of the Philadelphia Warriors. Jim Pollard, former great forward with the Minneapolis Lakers. Cliff Hagan with the St. Louis Hawks out of Kentucky. The late Joe Phillips. And John Nucatello, who was the former supervisor of officials of the NBA. Congratulations to all of them. They will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this summer in Springfield, Massachusetts. Here it is 56-54. Trailblazers leading the Bulls. Bulls with control. Van Leer back. Slip past Hollins. Came inside. Wouldn't stay down. Jump ball is the call.
Another big factor right now, Brent, is Chicago is already in the foul trouble. Portland only has 1 team foul.
There's Reeve Sorey. There's one of the guys that does all the work for Walter Payton. He came out of Illinois. He's a pretty good basketball player. He loves the game. All right, Hollins on the fly for the champions. Great move around Van Leer, and it was Grover Holland who deflected it away and prevented the fast break. Mickey Johnson comes back, now 5-on-5. Hollins forcing one right baseline. Knocked away, and here's Owen. Davis off to Hollins, and Van Leer is there. Shepard taking Davis right now. 5:33 to go in the third. Blazers up by a field goal. Even when they're down to 8 men, you got to play well to beat them, don't you, Keith?
You sure do. This is really a hectic pace going on out here. Guys are getting a little anxious, passing that ball around.
Neal in and out. Shooting percentages were not good in the first half. Not much better here in the third quarter. Off to Mickey Johnson. Shepard battling. Owens came in. Down it goes. Loose ball foul is the call.
That's his third also. You see Bob Gross was complaining to the officials, but actually what he should have done was kept Steve Shepard from the board that time. Steve Shepard had inside position.
Here we can take a look at that Artis Gilmore duel, Keith.
Watch his elbows in here. Let's see if we can pick up. Owens was complaining about Gilmore throwing his elbows into him. See Gilmore with his right arm leaning back and holding Owens away from him.
Chicago can tie it. Gilmore will try. Lost control coming up. Here's Neal, lead man. Johnny Davis. Davis to the hole. Welcome, those of you who joined us watching Boston and New Jersey. I'm Brent Musburger with Keith Erickson. The world champion Portland Trailblazers in the dark uniforms with the ball lead Chicago 58-56. Neal coming in, blocking foul against Mickey Johnson. Keith, why don't you kind of catch everyone up to date, those who've just joined us on the kind of game we're watching in Chicago?
We've got a hectic game going here. Portland only has 8 players. Bill Walton has got 4 fouls. Lloyd Neal has 3. You see Bill Walton there. They're playing against Artis Gilmore, who's having a heck of a game. Mickey Johnson has just been playing tremendous, and he's the reason that the Bulls are within 2 points of Portland at this point. Mickey already has 15 points, shooting the ball extremely well. Been in a shooting slump lately.
T.R. Dunn, number 23, a rookie from Alabama, checks in for Jack Ramsey. Chicago can tie it as they come down the floor. It's 58-56. We haven't had a quiet moment all game long in the stadium. Gilmore down, slowly gets up. Inside to Shepard, tied with 4:20 to go in the third. And a reminder to stay tuned for the MVP award at the conclusion of this game. And also all of our games that CBS is covering in the NBA. Chevrolet Scholarship Fund. Owens now has it taken away on that pass by Shepard. The rookie comes down on Neal. Turnaround, and Lloyd stays with him. Loose ball. Neal has got Hollins. It's 1-on-1. Now it's 3-on-1. They're all back on Van Leer. T.R. Dunn couldn't tap it in. And Van Leer handled the ball. Can you believe it? 3-on-1. Portland couldn't get it down, but Portland's got the ball.
That's a tremendous play by Norm Van Leer. Van Leer's only 6'1". At one point, they had 4 men on him coming down. See if we can pick it up. Here's Lionel Hollins. He takes the ball to the hole first, misses a shot. There's the follow shot by Dunn. He misses it. Tom Owens, 6'11", going after the ball. Van Leer in there with 4 men around him. Knocks it out of bounds.
Neal lays it up. They'll come the other way. Offensive foul. Ramsey's furious. Now that's the 4th foul on Neal, Keith. Walton with 4. Trailblazers in foul trouble with the score tied and 3:35 to go in the third. Johnson waits for Van Leer to cut off him. 2-on-1. Norman back to Mickey Johnson. Up by 2. Johnson. 3:09 to go in the third. It's Chicago 60, Portland 58. Oh, we've got a timeout. Ramsey not unhappy with his team. He couldn't believe one of those calls out there. We'll be right back.
Is Gillette Foamy thick and rich enough to stop this super sports car? No. Is Foamy thick and rich enough to support this lovely lady? No. Is Foamy thick and rich enough to hold up this husky hiker? No.
But if you want a clean, close shave, it's more than thick and rich enough.
If you're looking for a new home, here's something to look for: Styrofoam brand insulation. Depending on conditions, it can save you up to 24% on your heating costs. It goes up easy and adds little to the cost of a new home. Your builder just installs it in place of ordinary sheathing, from roof line to frost line. Just ask for Styrofoam brand insulation, and you can look forward to energy savings, heating and air conditioning for the life of your new home.
It's a fresh new slice of apple pie from Chevrolet for you. A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
We saw you coming, America, and here we are with a new mid-size Malibu wagon designed to carry you well into the years ahead. With mileage estimates no other mid-size 6-cylinder wagon can top, with all kinds of room inside, plus a smart new look that's not going to go unnoticed.
A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
At your Chevrolet wagon stop now.
Next Sunday, CBS Sports presents the finals of the U.S. Indoor Championship. A strong field is headed by Jimmy Connors, Brian Gottfried, and Arthur Ashe. That's the U.S. Indoor Championship, Sunday, March 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Able to leap nothing at a single foul. Superfan has just got the word from Earl Strom. Superfan, you stay off my basketball floor. You stay back there with the fans. Don't you take one step out there to question one of my calls. Who do you think you are? You don't play for Chicago or Portland. Now you take a hike, young man, and you stay away from me, or I'll hit you with a tee. Earl Strom loves it, folks. We got 3:09 to go in the third. It's 60-58, a whale of a game. Portland trailing by 2. Hollins coming over. They turned it over, the 5-second violation. The sixth man, the crowd in any NBA arena. In Portland, you can't hear yourself. In Chicago, you can't hear yourself. It's like that all around the league. And it's going to get more that way as the playoffs approach. Derek Dickey turns around and kneels with him, and it's Hollins down. Blazers can tie it at 60. Knocked away by Shepard.
Hey, this young man is playing some fine game here. He's really sparked this Chicago team. Steve Shepard has been doing it all. Going to the offensive board, stealing balls like that.
Reminds you of Keith Erickson coming off the bench for Los Angeles and Chicago and Phoenix.
He's not that good, is he?
I don't know if he's got a jump shot or he can play volleyball like you did, Keith. There's Hollins. Tries to get Holland rubbed off on the pick and roll. It's Owens. Pretty basket. Tied it. It'll count, and it was a foul.
That was a very nice play by Portland there. Chicago had a little breakdown on their defense. Watch the two men jump out there, Pondexter and Holland. Here's Owens underneath. Dickey came over to help out, picked up the foul.
Owens adds the free throw. And the Blazers go up by that margin with 2:34 to go in the third. T.R. Dunn taking Van Leer. Here's Cliff Pondexter. Owens giving him a lot of room and a bad pass. And here's Hollins. Sloppy pass by Pondexter. Hollins holds up now. Now here's where the Blazers can burn you. They're opportunists. And this time, Dunn turns it over. Now it is Holland back quickly off to Derek Dickey. Chicago up by 1. 2 minutes left to go in the third.
Big play by Norm Van Leer, knocking that ball away from the rookie T.R. Dunn down there.
2-minute warning to the players. Hollins and Holland battling for the ball. Portland will keep it.
Watch as T.R. Dunn turns. Norm Van Leer, with his left hand, knocks the ball away. With his right hand, looked like he was picking his pocket. Here comes Holland down with a nice pass to Derek Dickey underneath.
Kofi Calhoun wanted Neal on the roll right. Calhoun can do a lot of things you don't notice in the box score. He's a tough, hard-working player. Van Leer off now to Derek Dickey. Dickey hit about 70% in 1975 in that championship series when the Warriors blew out the Washington Bullets in 4. We're going to have a 20-second injury timeout. Ron Culp, the trainer for Portland, is out there with Lloyd Neal. Culp huddling with the big man. Neal double duty today with Maurice Lucas back home because of that injured hand. And Neal will get a rest. There's some of our regionalized games next week. The New York Knicks, they're driving toward the playoffs this year. We'll catch them in the Boston Garden, New Orleans, San Antonio, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Portland. Every one of those games with a bearing on the playoff picture in the NBA.
That's an interesting play. The ball was thrown in by T.R. Dunn and it went out of bounds. Paul Mahalik called it Chicago's ball. Earl Strom called it the other way and called it jump ball. And you heard the reaction of the fans here in Chicago.
Bulls up by a point. 1:20 to go in the third. Portland can seize the lead. It'll be Hollins for the try. Owens with control. Dunn yanked it down. No on 3 shots. Owens for the corner and a whistle. It'll go now to Chicago. Loose ball foul. That's the 4th team foul. Chicago in the penalty. Ed Badger, Jack Ramsey.
Sounded like they said that Owens has got 4 fouls on him, too. That would really be something.
He does have. I just checked, Keith. You're right. Van Leer gliding in. Soft layup. Went down in a heap with Calhoun on top of him. Chicago up by 3. Inside of a minute in the third. Calhoun outside. Now it's 1. And the stretch ahead of us. Hickey gives it back to Norman. Pondexter. Picks done. Van Leer wheels inside. And Owens over with his 5th foul. That is 5 on Owens, 4 on Neal, and 4 on Walton.
Watch Norm Van Leer just throw that ball up above the basket. 3 men go down on that play. No foul on that play. Tom Owens just picked up his 5th foul. Bill Walton has got 4. Lloyd Neal has got...
He has 4. For the last 18 seconds. For Chicago, John Mingelt with 4. Three-point lead, 68-65, and here come the champions. Owen sets a pick and rolls off of it. Hollins keeps it, comes up on Pondexter. High arch, had to be to get up over Pondexter. Last second of the 3rd quarter, Cliff loses control. The end of 3 quarters in the Chicago Stadium. The crowd on its feet. The most important 12 minutes still to come. Chicago up by a point.
Hertz knows to keep your business, they've got to give you the fastest possible service. And to do that means adding more people behind counters, where and when you need them. More new cars where you need them. Opening more locations where you need them. Next time you need a car, wherever, whenever, come to the one with more cars, more locations, more people to serve you fast. Rent a Ford or other fine car from Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Ray's campaign to make beautiful music with his estranged wife hit some discordant notes on Baby I'm Back tomorrow night on CBS.
For a quick report on Milwaukee, New Orleans, let's go to Frank Lieber and John McLaughlin in New Orleans.
Marcus Johnson missing. We want to welcome the fans who are watching the Portland-Chicago game, our game, with 1:14 left to play in the 3rd period, as the New Orleans Jazz leading the Milwaukee Bucks 78-74, and Milwaukee down by 13 points a couple of moments ago has really cut this lead down. Elgin, the head coach of the New Orleans Jazz.
The Bucks doing a very fine job with a small team in there. They came in with the little guys. They started applying the pressure and making the Jazz turn the ball over.
Jazz 78, Bucks 74 late in the 3rd period.
We're back. You haven't missed a thing. The first shot taken by Derek Dickey. Walton yanks it down. We start the 4th quarter. Chicago ahead of Portland, 68-67. Walton is back. Calhoun outside, and the Blazers up by a point.
Corky Calhoun is one of the better outside shooters in this league, but nobody knows it because he very rarely takes an outside shot.
Van Leer has Russell out there for Ed Badger, and Calhoun will watch him. Here is Gilmore backing in on Walton. Bill has to be careful with those 4 fouls. And Jerry Sloan, an assistant coach, a former great athlete with the Chicago Bulls. Always gave you your money's worth whether you watched him in Portland, Seattle, Chicago, or Madison Square Garden. He was some hustler. Walton looking in now. Got Davis. Pretty play. Blazers up by a point.
Now that's Portland's offense right there. That's what they've got to do that they haven't been doing, and probably Chicago has been keeping them out of it. You've got to give Chicago credit the way they've been playing defense today.
Dickey into Gilmore. Muscles up.
Here's Bill Walton. Bill Walton with the ball now, just looking. Watch him just looking, just wait. There finally Johnny Davis breaks. There's that good movement by Portland inside.
Chicago up by a point. No, it's the Blazers get it right back. Beautiful alley-oop with Walton ramming it home. 73-72. Mickey Johnson will check back in soon for Badger. Over his head. Out of bounds. Dickey didn't run it down in time over the other side.
There's the same play we saw just a second ago with Johnny Davis coming down, showing that Portland movement inside.
That's just one thing they can do, and the other thing you saw shortly after that, the alley-oop. So we'll get a combination of their attack now. Calhoun out high, and Johnson's there on him. Walton out away from the basket now. Taking Gilmore outside with him. Gilmore gets back to the glass. 9:50 left. Portland up by a point. Johnson waiting. Nye puts it down. Left-handed hook shot on the drive. He's got his shot back.
I'll tell you, that's how you can tell when a guy feels his touchback. When he throws a left-handed hook shot up, and it rolls around and drops in.
And it puts Chicago up 74-73. Here's Walton up on Gilmore. Down by Van Leer. He's the lead man. Gross will hurry. Nice layup on the move by Norm Van Leer. 3-point Chicago lead. Blazers come back. There's Big Bill looking in over his shoulder. He'll put it down on Artis. Jump hook. 1-point lead. The Jackie Gleason Inverary Golf Classic is next on CBS. 76-75. Chicago with the ball on a 1-point lead. And Lear slipped around the screen. Walton jumped out, but Van Leer got the arch high enough. Back to 3. This is about as well as these two teams have shot during any one sequence in this game. Gilmore fronting Walton. But Bill glided outside. Now he hits the jumper. Back down to 1. They're hot now. Strom stops the clock while he runs down the ball. 8:19 to go. 7:54 to go. The Bullets leading the Warriors 105-102. Washington 105, Golden State 102. 7 minutes for the game. Johnson's off. Blazers can jump back to the lead. Davis glides for the basket. Chance for the three-pointer. Johnson came over on him.
Tremendous quickness and jumping ability by Johnny Davis. Watch him turn on the jet right here, go around Holland, and then take it to the basket on a 6'9" Mickey Johnson.
79-78. Champions up by a point. Bill Walton in a towel. Davis completes the three-pointer for Jack Ramsey. Chicago can tie it. Mingel out there with Holland, Gilmore, Russell, and Johnson. Cassie hits Mingel, takes it back, goes to the right baseline. Neal runs it down for the champions. 7:38 to go in Chicago. Neal cuts around. Walton was looking inside to Davis. Holland stayed right with him, and Holland fouled him.
Here's Bill Walton and Artis Gilmore going at it inside. All elbows and arms and everything going on in there. Then they both loosen up as the ball comes out to Lloyd Neal on the other side.
got a timeout. Keith, do you realize that Artis Gilmore has never missed a game in his entire professional career, either with Kentucky in the ABA or Chicago in the NBA? It's a string over 500 games.
Up here, the wind can turn an entire ski slope into one big snowdrift. But you're going to take the mountain away from the storm and give it back to the skiers. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, if you got the time, we got the beer. Miller beer.
I always used to dream of castles. Never thought I'd go anywhere. But look at me now. I'm in the army, seeing things I never thought I'd see. Working away, that's not too much to pay to bring my castles home to me.
One good way to see Europe is to enlist for it.
Each year, thousands of homes are lost to fire. That's why you need Allstate's homeowners insurance. But did you know many other homes are lost to another major disaster? The owner dies before the mortgage is paid. For that, you need mortgage protection insurance from Allstate Life. Your family needs both kinds of protection, and your Allstate agent can put the two together. See him soon.
On the CBS Tuesday night movies, Clint Eastwood is back as Dirty Harry.
What does a girl have to do to go to bed with you?
Try knocking on the door. When the job is dirty, they call on Harry. Magnum Force, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain. Due to mature theme, viewer discretion advised.
Right after this NBA action, the Jackie Gleason Inverrary Classic, the final round. Here we've got 7:24 left. Portland leading Chicago 80-78. And we, of course, have to pick the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player. Johnny Davis at the free throw line, certainly a candidate for Portland. Mickey Johnson has played well for Chicago. Big guys are always tower of force. There's Nancy Faust at the organ here in the Chicago Stadium. She's so pretty they brought her down out of the loft and put her right down on the floor here. She's also the organist for the Chicago White Sox. Announcer by the name of Harry Carey made her a household word here in Chicago. She's a legend because of her. Here's Johnson now. Bobby Gross with him. Van Leer spins to Russell right side. They go to Artis. Gives it right back. Perimeter shot. Walton off quickly now to Davis. Here's that speed. Lead to Hollins. Hollins moves on Mingel. 83-78. And the champions go up by 5. And Chicago's from eyeball to eyeball. You can't lose contact with Portland. At 6:44, they'll rip you. Mickey Johnson. Walton battling. Johnson got it back. Great hustle by Mickey Johnson. That is a very, very big play. Came right back up, chance for the three-pointer, and drew the foul.
Watch this hustle by Mickey Johnson. Takes a shot way on the outside. Now watch Mickey Johnson in your screen. Gilmore and Walton tipping the ball. Johnson pulling it away from Walton, going back up, and Lloyd Neal on the foul, picking up his 5th. A big play.
5 on Neal, 4 on Walton, 5 on Owens. Portland playing with 8 men. What happens if 3 foul out? The last man to foul out stays on the floor and draws a technical for his last foul, and everyone thereafter. Gilmore blocks the shot by Walton. Hollins chases it down. 6:19. Gross off, but right back to Portland. Hollins with control. Fresh 24 on the shot clock. They're up by a field goal in 6:09. Gilmore out on Walton. Inside, Davis the cutter. Van Leer behind, fouled him. That's 3 team fouls on Chicago, 1 on Portland.
Watch this movement again. Just the same play on the other side of the floor. Here's Walton hitting Johnny Davis inside. Norm Van Leer, the only thing he can do going up, saving the automatic 2, fouled Johnny Davis on the layup.
And Portland has a game in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks this week. That's a makeup game after that last snowstorm Thursday night. Davis. 84-81. Chicago back by 3 and 5:55 to do something about it. Cassie lobs it to Artis. Hollins goes back on a double team.
That's a double team inside. 3 men on Artis.
Neal taps it back, and Davis gets it back to Neal. Pretty play by the Blazers off the glass that time. 5:35. Here's Walton. Gilmore's not going to block at that time. It's a 5-point lead, Keith Erickson.
It's really interesting to see Portland's defense down here. They're dropping 3 men inside on Artis Gilmore, almost embarrassing Chicago into taking the outside jump shot.
Gilmore getting a hand on it, and a foul call. Walton protesting to Paul Mahalik. That's his 5th. Let's take a look at that on isolation and see if Bill got him, Keith.
Watch Artis Gilmore try and get position in here, and watch Bill Walton looking towards the ball and his man, trying to keep Gilmore away. Bodies colliding there. Look at the leaning going on inside. Walton pushing Gilmore with his body.
Johnson out. Walton. They'll come the other way. Johnson was coming up the back along with about 2 other Bulls. Foul against Johnson is his 5th.
That's a big factor also. 4th team foul on Chicago. Portland only has 2 team fouls.
Champions are up by 5. Last 5 minutes. Here's Walton. Knocked away by Mingelt. Davis couldn't save it. It'll go to Chicago.
I was just about to say that this is where the experience of the championship Trailblazers take over. In the last few minutes of the ball game, they really don't have too many turnovers. And you saw one there by Bill Walton.
Shepard goes to Mingelt. They move left side. Shepard was cut off by Gross. Gilmore wants it. Waits for a cutter. Johnson had it knocked away and out of bounds. Chicago keeps it. There'll be 5 seconds on that shot clock.
There's Mickey Johnson with the ball, trying to go up with it. Lionel Hollins got it. All ball on that play. Good play by Hollins.
5 seconds. Mingelt. 86-83, 4:27 for the ball game. The Jackie Gleason Inverrary Golf Classic is next. Neal will take it outside. Lloyd Neal. Jack Ramsey applauding the 25th and 26 points by Lloyd Neal. This is his 11th game as a starter, and the Blazers are unbeaten in the first 10. Gilmore backing in. Walton letting go with those 5 fouls. 3-point lead and 3:58.
Artis Gilmore is one smart basketball player. He knows Bill Walton has 5 fouls. Takes the ball to the basket. Bill Walton can't get near him on that play.
3:50. 88-85. Portland over Chicago. Hollins. Gilmore. Chicago can ease to within 1. Inside at 3:40. Foul call as Mingelt came into Hollins. Hollins was trying to draw the charge from him. Mingelt may have injured his ankle slightly. Wilbur Holland, number 12, checks in, and Mingelt goes out. 3:34. Johnson dishes it inside. Shepard coming up through the foul. Bobby Gross over to complain.
That's a very difficult call to make for the officials down there. These guys are so big, they're so quick and strong, going to the basket. Bobby Gross didn't think he fouled Steve Shepard on that play. The official thought differently. Portland now has 4 team fouls, just like Chicago.
And that's 4 personals on Gross with a timeout, and Ramsey unhappy. 88-85, his Blazers lead.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
To the more than 600,000 people who bought the new Chevrolet during its very first year, thank you. You've made it the most popular car in America. For the rest of you, a simple reminder. With its advanced design, the new Chevrolet has more headroom, more rear seat legroom, more trunk room, and more. So drive it. The new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it.
The major difference is Sylvania beats RCA.
Take a look at this.
Sylvania beats Zenith.
And we'd like you to...
Sylvania beats Sony and GE and Sears. That's right. Recently, over 1,000 people saw 6 unidentified 19-inch color pictures side by side. Then they picked the best overall picture, and the clear winner was the Sylvania Superset. So get the picture that beat them all, the Sylvania Superset. Side by side, we beat them all.
This is the historic Bellevue Biltmore Hotel, a magnificent testimony to Victorian architecture. And today, Alcoa aluminum siding is helping to preserve it. Available in a variety of colors and patterns, Alcoa siding protects without sacrificing style or character. Your home is worth protecting too, even if it doesn't have 450 rooms.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Following the game, stay tuned for the Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic.
3 minutes and 29 seconds left in Chicago. I'm Brent Musburger along with Keith Erickson, and we certainly hope you've enjoyed this game because we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Milwaukee and New Orleans in the fourth quarter are tied at 92, and that has implications in both the Eastern and the Western conferences. Boston trying to get back into the playoff picture. The New Jersey Nets have been revived, but this afternoon the Celtics are ahead in Piscataway, New Jersey. 88-85, the world champions lead Chicago with rookie Shepard at the line for Ed Badger.
It's a tough position for this rookie to be in. A lot of pressure on these free throws right here. Only 15 feet from the basket, all by himself out there. 18,000 fans cheering him on.
You know, I forgot somebody else out here with Chicago. He's been injured for some time. Tom Boerwinkle. There's Ramsey down on that one knee. Leads the league in wearing out the knee on his right leg. Walton looking in on Gilmore. 3:16. Here's Lloyd Neal. He's had a way on the game. That's 28 points for Lloyd Neal. Started because of the injury to Maurice Lucas. Had 15 points in the first period in this game. Tower of force for Jack Ramsey. Got the little man on the switch. It's Holland. Shot clock down to 5. Bulls a little bit confused in this sequence. Settle for a perimeter shot. Not a good shot in that situation. 2:45, and it's a 4-point Blazer. Not what Ed Badger wanted.
Not at all, especially since Mickey Johnson had Johnny Davis guarding him down low, trying to post up, and they ran him out of there.
Walton in, keeping Gilmore outside, looking at the basket, putting it down. Shot clock down to 1. They've got to hurry. Neal up at the buzzer. Off now to Mickey Johnson. They didn't stop the play that time. It was close. 4-point lead by the champions. Badger watching. Van Leer coming in on Hollins. 2:11 left. Wilbur Holland off to Van Leer. Goes to Mickey Johnson. Johnson pulls it up. It's 2 points. It's 90-88 and 2 minutes to go in Chicago.
Good play by Mickey Johnson. He was going to take that ball to the basket, but the big redhead came over and said, "No way, Mickey." He took a nice shot.
Walton waiting. Neal trying to swing free of Mickey Johnson. Neal backing in on him with his boat. Neal coming up on Johnson. Another big play by Lloyd Neal. He has gone to work one-on-one. 92-88, 1:40 for the game. Timeout has been called by Norm Van Leer. Ed Badger will bring the Bulls over. They trail it by 4 with 1:39 to go. They go over to that huddle. That's the clock. Gene Tormolen. Badger kneeling down. Scott May out with that injured knee.
We need to score right now and have a defense bad. Let them get 2 now. All right, let's go with a diagonal and move and get inside. Now get up and get it. Let's go, Vic.
All right, let's go to Piscataway, New Jersey for... lead Chicago with rookie Shepard at the line for Ed Badger.
That's a tough position for this rookie to be in. A lot of pressure on these free throws right here. Only 15 feet from the basket, all by himself out there. 18,000 fans cheering him on.
88-86. You know, I forgot somebody else out here with Chicago. He's been injured for some time. Tom Bullwinkle. There's Ramsey down on that one knee. Leads the league in wearing out the knee on his right leg. Walton looking in on Gilmore. 3:16. Here's Lloyd Neal. He's had a whale on the game. That's 28 points for Lloyd Neal. Started because of the injury to Maurice Lucas. Had 15 points in the first period in this game. Tower of force for Jack Ramsey. Got the little man on the switch. With Holland. Shot clock down to 5. Bulls a little bit confused in this sequence. Settle for a perimeter shot. Not a good shot in that situation. 2:45, and it's a 4-point Blazer lead. That is not what Ed Badger wanted.
Not at all, especially since Mickey Johnson had Johnny Davis guarding him down low, trying to post up, and they ran him out of there.
Walton in keeping Gilmore outside, looking at the basket, putting it down. Shot clock down to 1. They've got to hurry. Neal up at the buzzer. Off now to Mickey Johnson. They didn't stop the play that time. It was close. 4-point lead by the champions. Badger watching. Van Leer coming in on Hollins. 2:11 left. Wilbur Holland off to Van Leer. Goes to Mickey Johnson. Johnson pulls it up. It's 2 points. It's 90-88 and 2 minutes to go in Chicago.
Good play by Mickey Johnson. He was going to take that ball to the basket, but the big redhead came over and said, "No way, Mickey." He took a nice shot.
Walton waiting. Neal trying to swing free of Mickey Johnson. Neal backing in on him with his bulk. Neal coming up on Johnson. Another big play by Lloyd Neal. He has gone to work one-on-one. 92-88, 1:40 for the game. Timeout has been called by Norm Van Leer. Ed Badger will bring the Bulls over. They trail it by 4 with 1:39 to go. They go over to that huddle. That's the clock. Gene Tormolen. Badger kneeling down. Scott May out with that injured knee.
Hey, we got 2 timeouts. You got to use the clock now. We need a defense. Bad. We need a defense. We need to score right now and have a defense bad. Let's get 2 now. All right, let's go with a diagonal and move and get inside. Now get up and get it. Let's go, Vic.
All right, let's go to Piscataway, New Jersey for an update by Don Criqui.
We welcome our Chicago-Portland viewers here at the Rutgers Athletic Center. This is Don Criqui with Gus Johnson. We have 8:25 to go in the game. The Boston Celtics, who led by as many as 21 points in the second quarter, have seen their lead cut to 10 now by the New Jersey Nets, who've rallied back from behind many times before this season. There's a clean rejection by Tim Bassett of the Nets, and here comes the man who set the NBA assist record last Friday night, Kevin Porter. Kevin Porter said no one there. He took it the distance himself. He has 20 points, and the Nets have cut the Celtics lead to 8 points. So it is 86-78 Boston with 8:04 left to play.
Back in Chicago.
Right to the guard, swing it to Wilbur. We got an easy shot. All right?
Ed Badger hopes they get an easy shot. That Portland defense can be a tower of strength in these situations. Bill Walton with those 5 fouls. Now, Mickey Johnson with 27 points, Keith. He would be a factor here. Gilmore with 18 if they want to back in low on Walton.
Well, ideally, that's what they'd like to do, is have Gilmore take the ball to the basket, have Walton foul him on the way, get Bill Walton out of this game. They've got some good shooters out here. Van Leer's a good pressure player. Wilbur Holland can shoot that ball.
Jackie Gleason Inbury Classic coming up right after this one's over. Here's Shepard, 136. And Gross backs right into Gilmore. So Johnson takes it outside and hits it. A clutch shot, 29 for the game. 92-90 and 1:30 to go. Now it's up to the Portland offense to regain that 4-point lead. And they'll have to watch Neal. He has been something. Hollins glides in. Hollins up on Van Leer. There is Neal. Put it down. Lloyd Neal coming up. I've got to say, Keith Erickson, that should also wrap up a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award as far as I'm concerned.
Watch Lloyd Neal with the position he's got inside. The problem Chicago has been having, although Mickey Johnson is 6'9" to Lloyd Neal 6'7", he only weighs 190 pounds. Lloyd Neal weighs 225, and you cannot give a guy position like that inside.
95-90, 117, and the champions with 8 men have come into Chicago without their all-star power forward, without Larry Steele, an outstanding swingman, without a top guard in Dave Twardzik. The Chicago Bulls, meanwhile, have battled back, finally got a game out of Mickey Johnson. Artis Gilmore has played extremely tough against Bill Walton. But it's the Blazers in command by 5.
Inside for a three-point play. You come high and get it, baby. Hey, remember now, let the first guard go through, keep the ball bounce, and take a shot and big kill as soon as we go down and score. You got one timeout left now. Pick them up full court. Pick them up full court. We need to score quick. We get a three-point play.
So you can hear what Ed Badger was telling the Chicago Bulls. Get down there and fire one up quick. Hopefully get a foul and a three-point play and then put full court pressure. But those plans sound awfully easy, Keith Erickson. When you're out there on the floor with people like Bill Walton, Lloyd Neal, and Bobby Gross, Lionel Hollins, and Johnny Davis. Hey, Johnny Davis played a whale of a game. We got to point out that was that speed and some of those breakaway hoops for him.
You know, we've still got 1:17 to go in this game. Anything can happen. You can't say that 5-point lead is going to hold up in this situation. As a matter of fact, Chicago lost a 4-point lead with 11 seconds to go in Portland.
They tell me that was an unbelievable game, that it was one that didn't happen. Chicago had the ball, 11 seconds to go, led Portland by 4, 2 quick turnovers. Portland won it. There's the final. Washington, led by Dick Motto, who used to coach here in Chicago. Here it comes. 1:15, you told Badger to make him hurry. Van Leer is cut off. Neal was standing there. Van Leer drives in, crashes to the floor. Hollins. Lionel Hollins' third foul.
Watch Norm Van Leer when he gets the ball back here. Lionel Hollins coming back to him. Van Leer trying to draw the foul on the play, hoping that the foul was going to be called on Lionel Hollins, and that's the way it went. Earl Strom calling the foul on Hollins. Norm Van Leer will take two shots to the free throw line here.
So here comes Norman Van Leer. Wonder how much money he's paid the league office for all those technicals he's picked up over the years here.
Here's that same situation. Only 15 feet from the line. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran or a rookie. They're still big.
Gilmore keeping it up. Gilmore's got it in with 1:05 down and a foul call. So what looked like disaster for Chicago has quickly turned things around, Keith.
There you see Artis Gilmore putting that ball back in the basket. Bill Walton getting called his 6th foul. He doesn't want to leave the floor. You just cannot let a man get inside on a free throw and get position on you. Bill Walton had the inside position. There's no way he should let Artis Gilmore come in and get that ball unless the ball bounces completely over his head, which it did not do on that play.
Well, there's the three-point play. Now the backcourt pressure. 95-93. Tommy Owens has replaced Bill Walton. He's playing with 5 fouls. Something on the floor. Taken off. Clock starts. Davis comes up against the pressure. Van Leer is right there. Inside of a minute, came in behind and fouled Davis with 58 seconds, and Portland up by 2.
That's a real big foul right there by Norm Van Leer. You know, it looks like a tremendous play if he steals that ball, but a little thing like a foul like that really hurts in a situation, a penalty situation. Here you see him try and reach around, and Johnny Davis did a heck of a play stopping right there. Made Norm Van Leer foul.
Big free throw goes down by Davis. In and out, Van Leer gets it away from Gross. 3-point lead by Portland in 52 seconds. Here's Gilmore again. Owens. Gilmore to the hoop. 96-95 and 48 seconds left now. Hollins up against pressure. Badger wants a timeout, but he can't get it. They haven't got the ball.
Shepard's over there on Gross. Neal outside. Neal hits a hoop for the champions. 36 seconds, and Lloyd Neal says, just give it to me. Hey, listen, don't give him a scholarship. Give him a Corvette and a scholarship. What a game he's played here this afternoon.
He said, wait a minute, let's not let this thing get out of control here. A lot of excitement going on. The crowd screaming. Lloyd Neal very casually popped in a 15, 20-foot jump shot.
Everybody playing his man except for Van Leer. Right, we're dropping off Van Leer. He's going to dribble the ball right now. Back off him. Don't let him penetrate. Back off him until he gets inside the circle and play. No fouls now. No fouls. All right? Now, from the baseline, they should score. I'm trying to get in. If I can't get in, I'm going to time out. Yeah, all right. Time you get out. Time you get out. Go get your damn body between him and be messy. And you guards move yourselves now. Be sure. Now be aware of your 5-second count. Don't get called to the line. I'm not getting out there. Yeah, baseline. Once Van Leer gets, or if Van Leer doesn't have the ball, then get inside. Once he gives it up, try to front Gilmore so he can't receive. All right? You play it from behind. Right. Don't try to take block or beat your island.
Oh, you heard Jack Ramsey talking to the world champions. They know that Van Leer is going to try to get inside, but they want to seal off Gilmore. Lloyd Neal has scored 35, his season high. Not surprising, last year against Chicago, he shot 59% from the floor and averaged 13 points a game against the Bulls. 36 seconds, Blazers up by 3. Here's Johnson trying to come in. Pull-up jump shot. 1-point game. Last 32 seconds, 98-97. Chicago not surrendering. They pressure Gross, Shepard. Now they go to Hollins, coming up on Van Leer. Cross court, they beat the time across. Ramsey says, slow it up. They got 14 seconds. On the shot clock, 19 in the game. That's the game in the right-hand corner. Up by a point. They bring the shot clock to 5. Now Ramsey wants motion. Wants a shot. Davis had a block. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Here goes Hollins. 99, 98, 4 seconds. Timeout. Portland didn't get a good shot. Ran the shot clock down. Steal at the other end. Chicago leads it 99-98. Incredible turnaround by the Chicago Bulls, who have found themselves down by 5 twice here at the 1-minute mark. Kept struggling. Finally, they get the opportunity, and now Ramsey's got to diagram the play. Impossible to hear Jack Ramsey because of the noise level in the Chicago stadium. Thanks to our producer, Charles Milton, and our director, Sandy Grossman. 4 seconds. 99-98. Keith, you could just see Jack Ramsey over there when the shot clock got down to 6, telling Johnny Davis to get it moving, to try to come around and get the shot because they could not run the game clock out.
6 seconds was still too late to try and get it moving. They should have had it moving before then, in case something happened where they got stuck, which they did, and they didn't get the shot. Here's Johnny Davis with 1 second to go. That's all he could do. Mickey Johnson made a beautiful block on the play, but Johnny Davis didn't even have time to give him a fake.
You realize how many cars I'm going to give away before this day is over? Oh, my. Here's Corky Calhoun. 4 seconds now. Lila Hollins. Van Leer's there. Hollins outside. It's in at the buzzer. I don't believe it. The Portland Trailblazers have won it at the buzzer. Lana Hollins. Walton is out there hugging Hollins. No time at all left on the clock. Van Leer can't believe it. There goes Bill Walton, MVP. Well, I think we're going to have to give it. The Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award goes to Lloyd Neal. feel as you watch the winning basket again? He scored 35. Lionel Hollins with the biggest 2 of the game to give Portland the victory. And so the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship.